audience. Here we are, talking to the camera again, wasting your time. Like you don't have anything better to do. But anyway, hey, um, I just had some thoughts and I wanted to clarify some things. I'm a little bit like, there's a lot of superheroes in the world, and I'm a little bit like a bullshit man, you know? I'm a bullshit man because I'm gonna be calling out on a lot of bullshit that is out there. But anyway, okay, let's get right to it after wasting 1 minute of your life. I wanna speak about service to self and service to others. Uh, and I see that a lot of people think that that literally means to serve, literally take action to serve someone else or to serve yourself. And that's not what it means. What it means is basically uh, the amount of pain that's causing fear that exists within your heart, within your soul. People call it karma, whatever, but there's a lot of words that trying to grasp that thing, but this is something that everybody experiences. This is something that's real. Call it existential pain, whatever. There's all sorts of these nodes of pain about many reasons that exist within us, and that causes fear. And it makes us move away from the pain because we have a fear. We don't want to face that shit, so we take some action away from the fear, right? And it doesn't matter if that action is helping somebody else crossing, helping old lady to cross the street. It doesn't matter. What it matters is the amount of sanskaras, whatever. Again, it's just the word, but pain body, doesn't matter, but that's something that is there that makes you take action every day in life, you see. And that is not service to others. It doesn't matter if you literally serve others in taking action. There's a saying, if a wrong man uses the right means work in the wrong way. This is what it means. A lot of people just grasp this, hear about these ideas, and it's like, oh, okay, so I just need to serve other people, and that's it. There's nothing to do with it. There's nothing to do with this. It's not possible for you to literally serve other person if you're still in fear. You somehow, some way, this help to another person is going to turn out to be a disaster because you move from fear still. Service to others happens automatically and spontaneously when you no longer move out of fear, when you don't have pain left in your soul. Then it doesn't matter what you do. You do something that you enjoy, and a lot of people just happens to benefit a lot from it. So that's what it means. It literally talking about shadow is another word, right? Imagine there's like a disc, and some things on that disc is still yet dark that needs to be to have the light shined upon and healed. Another word for it is healing, right? There's a pain, there's a wound, there's a heal. By the way, none of us really get traumatized. There's another idea, this theory is out there that it's a trauma. Like, oh, you experienced trauma in your childhood and that's what makes you so crazy. I call bullshit on that, because how do we know that that's true? How do we know that we haven't born already with those distortions, with these wounds in us, in order to have this experience, right? And that wound created the reality to experience this traumatic event, which is repeating over and over again, which is service to self. It's a stupid way of saying it, but anyway. And it perpetuates this over and over again because there's this seed of pain that's creating these patterns. It's consciously, doesn't matter. It exists, it's there. But it wasn't a childhood trauma. It wasn't. Childhood trauma happened as a consequence of you creating that reality. And you can say, well, as a child, you're innocent. Like, how can you create reality? Well, there's something there in a child, in a soul, that's already creating the destiny for that child. And the point of life, because we come here with these distortions, and the point of life is to dissolve these distortions, right? Less shadow, more light. Again, it's just words. But the point is that we're here to dissolve these distortions. Otherwise, we're living in a cycle of time. There's pain, there's fear, there's movement, there's action, there's a disaster, there's pain, there's fear, there's movement, there's action, disaster. You just continue in the same loop. You know, the pixels may be different, but the pattern is the same. And if you want to get out of this is what people are talking about, get out of the matrix. This is how you get out. Instead of thinking that you're doing something good because you're taking good action, it's not gonna do anything. You can do so-called good things to the rest of your life, and if that distortion is still there at the end of your life, you have not grown a bit. Just lived in an illusion, and you played the goody-goody, but it was nothing coming from the heart. So, why do this? And this is a problem when they say, beware of unearthed wisdom. That's the thing, like right now we have the explosion of these videos and everybody's talking, and it's like this and it's like that, it's like that. And you have to ask the question is like, is this just an information that the person just regurgitating and speaking, or that person went through it and experienced it? That's the difference. And if the person didn't go through it and didn't experience it, the person is acting out of fear, vanity. And so then it speaks to you, you listen to it, and you take it as truth, and you live that belief system, and again the same cycle. Chung chung, just the pixels has changed, but nothing changed within your soul, nothing changed within your heart. That gives you, like people talk about meditation, and in meditation they meditate, they try not to feel that so-called stress or pain or whatever. They don't want to feel uncomfortable. Meditation is what happens after you deal with that, after you stay with it. So, and I mean, you can use like percentage, right? Like you maybe have a lot of shadows, you may have like 35% positive, 75% negative, whatever. But up to 50%, this is where you're in the school of love. You're learning to open your heart. Most of the time, most of the shadows is about to open your heart. And from the 50% up, you're learning wisdom. It's about boundaries, it's about truth, it's about standing up for yourself. Because if you just walk around through life with an open heart, lovey-dovey, you're not going to sustain that. That's why love is not enough. Wisdom is necessary too, because love without protection of wisdom is innocence, and innocence in this world is going to be pushed around. That's why all these hippie, lovey-dovey ideas didn't change anything at all, because only wisdom can. And another way, again, I'm just sharing my thoughts, my ideas, and my observations. Nothing came from the book. I didn't listen to anybody. I'm not regurgitating the information. I'm speaking what I've experienced. And that's also an invitation to experience for yourself. And what I'm trying to say is, face what is. You know, there's many times you go through the life and the trigger happens, right? The trigger happens, and in that moment you have a little bit of choice to say, this is when it's time to meditate, right? Meditation, the real meditation, isn't fun and games. It's facing your own crap, staying present with your own crap, and learning little by little to stay more and more present with that pain, that fear that arises, that anxiety, depression, whatever, staying with it and facing it, not, thinking about it, not analyzing, not blaming yourself, not blaming others, nothing of the sort, just staying with it in peace and quiet. Not just letting it flower, wither away, and die. That's it. And once you do this, it's gone forever. It's gone. The trigger is gone. You're never going to feel it again. The same trigger. You can even imagine it. They say, like, what triggered me? Imagine, and you will not feel the same response anymore. There will be no anxiety, no fear, no depression, nothing. Gone. Forever. And then after that, you'll feel the elation. You may feel like streams of joy or whatever, and peace and all that. And that is meditation. The state of meditation. Meditation, again, it's the word, but the state of meditation is a consequence of letting go of pain and fear. When that disappears, evaporates, you have a state of meditation. Everything else is a waste of time. You can meditate for 20, 30 years if the movement is running away from what is. You see, there's another good illustration of that is a Real Player One movie, and the way he won the game is, nobody won the game in the history of this video game, but the way he won it is by turning it around on itself and moving backwards. That's how he won the game. This is exactly the same thing here. And once you do it, this is what's going to turn into service to other. Because why? Because you're not going to need to fill that hole anymore. It's just going to radiate out, and you're going to be not needy, not dragging information and energy from other people, and just trying to fill the hole that will never be filled. And the service to other happens. You see what I'm saying? This is why this new age is also a belief system. You have to go through it yourself about everything, and I'm just pointing the direction, and I'm saying that service to other, service to self does not mean literally service to other, service to self. It's just a way of saying, which confuses people, that the amount of fear that you have within, your heart. This is the only thing that will change anything for real, forever. Anything else is going to be, like, addiction is the consequence of that. If you're addicted to something, there's that pain that you always need to satisfy with some pleasure, whatever. And as soon as you let that go, as soon as that evaporates, the addiction goes away. And then what we were seeking for the addiction is there already, which is this content, satisfaction with what. So you're no longer in a cycle of pain and pleasure. Honestly, what happens is the pain and pleasure kind of become one. And when the pain and pleasure in one, it's ecstatic, it's euphoric. Because there's no movement anymore. You don't have to run away from anything. Anyway, hopefully it makes sense. That's what it means. The way to rid of your fear, rid of your pain is just simple, so simple. Everything could be denominated with the point and a circle. If you can put attention, right? Of course, you will need courage to do that. That's the only thing that you need. The only faculty that is not of the mind is courage. And another faculty that is not of the mind as well is surrender. Another way of saying it is just focus, relaxation, point focus, broad focus, a point in a circle. If you can point and feel whatever is happening in your body emotionally, rather than acting that emotion out, reverse on itself, point it where it is, and then have a broad focus to surrender to it. Just let it be. And that's another word for eye of God. That's the only will, free will that you have, is to be able to focus on something, face it, surrender to it, let it go. It disappears, gone forever. And at first it may be little by little, it may at first maybe just a little anxiety, and it's like, okay, I feel the anxiety, and now you just have the urge to go and do this thing. So anxiety makes me want to move, and I don't want to move out of anxiety. I want to move out of joy. So I'm just going to face that and stay with that anxiety, and I'm going to sit with it and be as present as possible and explore it. And once you little by little start with the anxiety, and then you move into relaxation, if you've done it once you have a taste for it, there's something happens. You're no longer afraid of your anxiety, no longer, because you know that behind it there's something beautiful. And that's how you become that's how you graduate from the school of love and the school of wisdom, by facing what is, letting it go, little by little. And some people, nobody can escape that. Everybody who incarnate here, especially if you're a very bright type of soul, then the more shadows you're going to have to deal with, and the faster it's going to happen. If you run away from it, the more suffering you're going to experience. That's why, anyway, so it's all good news. Hopefully it makes sense. And if you're actually, whether you like it or not, that's the point of this game, is to let go of these distortions through the stories, experiences, and all that stuff. That's the point. This is the demons that you fight and face and burn. You get to the boss level, there are big ones there sometimes. You get it to the boss level, you got to face a big one, then there's the next one, there's a little one, and you just keep on going and going and going. And you have a days and night, dark and light. So sometimes there's a period of darkness. This is the time to go within. Then the period of light, poof, explode in euphoric ecstasy, do whatever you want. And there's going to be another time to face your demons. And then once you learn how to do it, then you look forward to both. There's no running away from anything. Otherwise, if you don't do it yourself, you're always dependent on somebody. You need a leader, a guru, or somebody who has that energy already. That's why all these people are just around these people who have that. So they get high on it, but it's the same thing as using a drug. If they're not dealt with it, they're not free. And I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in the real deal. I can keep on talking about it, but I don't want to go over 20 minutes. And I'll make other videos about that. But yeah, it has to, at some point, it has to end. And it's getting to the point where it's no longer an option, And sure, if you're not ready, then sure, you can keep on trucking the same way. But that's not going to change the life. The form of the life will change, but the quality will not change. You can manifest millions, you can manifest beautiful houses and beautiful women and handsome men, but the feeling inside is still going to be the same. The quality of experience is going to be the same. And it's getting a little bit ridiculous, the success that comes, that's why I see a lot of people manifesting. I'll say, just hold on a second. What are you manifesting? You're going to manifest the quality of your consciousness, the quality of your soul. It's going to come in some way. It's going to make you feel bad. It seems like, well, I have all this money, why do I feel like shit? Because you see what I'm saying? You're manifesting with your imagination, but the quality of your soul has not changed. And that's the difference. That's the difference between, sorcery or magic. It's just words again, but dealing with the soul first, then dealing with the imagination. And manifesting not out of fear, but out of love. And it's probably the best way, instead of saying service to self is service to other. Service to self is fear-based living. Service to other is love-based living. And it does not mean that you are forgetting yourself and all that stuff. No, it just means you're radiating that thing out. And it just happens. You're not doing anything, there's no like, oh, I want to act a goody-goody. No, you're just acting goody-goody. But when you got it, you got it. No one can take it away from you, ever. So, peace. See you in the next one.